Mental tragic death novel. How to cope with aging parents. Late-stage cancer for dummies. Boo-hoo, my ferret died. A memoir. This book is for my mom and for me, and for anyone struggling with loss who just wants someone to get it. Chapter 1. Ma. First of all, let's get one thing straight. My mom was the coolest. She wasn't some sad sack in a sick bed waiting to die, even when she was a sad sack in a sick bed waiting to die. "Does this hat make me look sophisticated?" she would ask. It's so easy to picture how she would respond to things in my life even now. Get the red one. Because she left such a permanent mark. My mom was an inch shorter than me at 5'7". She had smiley brown eyes and a dark pixie cut with a signature swoopy cowlick over her forehead. Everything about her face was pointy. Her nose, her sharply arched eyebrows, the thin lips she didn't like. She had a very endearing gap between her front teeth. Her arms were soft and freckly, and she had extremely graceful hands. She barely wore any makeup and dressed in a familiar, boring uniform of jeans, solid-color shirts, and comfortable shoes. She usually smelled like one of the millions of hand creams she applied religiously, almond or apricot or cocoa butter. Anytime I told her she'd smelled good, she'd say, "Thanks, it's my natural aroma." She was quiet and polite in public, with a sense of humor that could be best described as sneaky. Her specialty was walking down the grocery store aisle with a very straight face, then doing a blink and you'd miss it bunny hop around the corner and continuing down the next aisle like nothing happened. Once she was watching Saturday morning cartoons with me, and an episode of Rocko's Modern Life made her laugh so hard she fell off the couch. She teased me for the way I pronounced vegetable. Say it again. Vegetable. And she did a hilarious impression of Jan's embarrassing cheerleading routine from the Brady Bunch. Look of intense concentration, dramatically jumping an inch off the floor. When I was a little kid, she'd soothe my boo-boos with the kiss vacuum she made up. Sometimes she'd give me a hug, snuggle up by my ear, and whisper, "Aren't you glad I'm not?" Redacted. The name of my friend's mom, a perfectly nice and normal lady who had the misfortune of being our code for someone else who isn't me. When she was plotting to order pizza, she'd say, "I'm in the mood for something round." She was not particularly touchy-feely, but she held my hand every time we crossed the street together, even when I was a teenager. Also, she loved to wink, and somehow it was never creepy. Magic. My mom hated making phone calls, but she loved thrill rides. Once on a family trip to an amusement park, my mom insisted on riding this terrifying-looking thing called the Mighty Axe. None of us wanted to join her, obviously, but she didn't care. We watched in horror from below while she nonchalantly blew us kisses. I thought she was a hero. I also thought she was going to die. I was right, just off by a few years. As I got older, she began dragging me onto the thrill rides with her. I'd inevitably end up having fun, but that did nothing to lessen my fear beforehand. "What are you, a wimp?" "Yes." I spent so many teeth-chattering hours in lines with her, trying to talk my way out of riding. My stomach/head/back/toe hurts. "Look, that little girl has Velcro shoes, and she's going on it." One of her tried-and-true sayings was, "When Mommy's around, nothing bad can happen," which she continued using long after I stopped calling her Mommy. My mom had a very particular set of skills that I found endlessly comforting. She was excellent at Scrabble and even better at Pac-Man. Developing